noticing the movement of mind towards sense desires, things that are pleasant, things that inflate some sense of I or me or mine, preferences, opinions. And in its recognition, the practice begins. We can then invite thoughts of renunciation simply by coming back to the breath, unhooking ourselves again and again. There is no fantasy. There is no delicious meal. There is no anesthesia enough to free us. This is the path to the end of suffering. Come back again and again. And then we notice a thought we like, a breath we like, a sensation we prefer, and we feel that clinging mind turning towards, moving closer, grasping, holding, clinging, the certain path to suffering. And then we remember, and we come back to the breath. And then we notice thoughts of judgments, thoughts of not wanting, thoughts of aversion, thoughts of aggression. And rather than let these thoughts play in the cycle of samsara, leading to certain suffering, we recognize these thoughts as thoughts. And instead, we offer thoughts of goodwill, thoughts of compassion. We feel for ourselves in this cycle of suffering. And we commit ourselves thusly to the end of suffering. Just this one breath, just this one moment, back to the breath. This is the path to the end of suffering. And then maybe noticing where there may be any resistance. I am deserving, or I am not capable. And neither are true, they are just thoughts. And even with these thoughts, we simply recognize and begin again. Knowing a harsh thought as a harsh thought, a pleasant thought as a pleasant thought. And noticing that sometimes we miss thoughts altogether. And there is no failure here. Thoughts will arise, they will pass, they will change. And the steadiness of mind, the purity of mind, the unification of mind is here in this one breath at a time. And then we can feel those moments of liberation. We begin to see the light shining through, the moment of ease. And then we can feel that end of craving. We're not grabbing the thoughts, we're not making something out of them. This is the beginning of the end of suffering. When one knows unwholesome thoughts have arisen in me, they do not become distressed or ashamed. Instead, they recognize these thoughts simply as conditioned and apply appropriate effort to abandon them. And that instruction is simply come back to the breath. Until the end of suffering for not only yourself but for all beings. This is the path to true happiness and freedom. Feel it for yourself. And every time I practice like this, I think, oh yeah, I remember. And then I forget, right? Oh yeah, I remember. It's that simple. And not so easy, right? And so let's talk for just a minute about what we're doing instead of that. Simple path, easy instructions, the promise, true, unabiding, abiding, unconditioned happiness and freedom. The quality of your own mind, actually, thoughts as thoughts, no longer a problem, right? Anybody see that? Just thought coming. I'm just not stuck. They're not an addiction. It's just an object arising now. And I don't even have to make it something about me. It's not because I'm failed or I'm successful. It's not because I'm good practitioner or I'm bad. It's not because I finally got it or I'm never going to get it. These are those storylines that keep us from practice, don't they? I'm just not going to ever, I don't own it. I don't have it. I don't have the discipline. I don't have the commitment. I don't have the, who does before you practice? Nobody. You're practicing because you know all the things you were trying didn't work. Remember what we said? It's not because you all of a sudden got brilliant about practice. And then we run smack into ourselves because we actually see, don't we, how pervading that quality of mind is. And then you go, uh-oh, this is going to take a really long time. And we're completely wrong, aren't we? We are completely wrong. What does it take? It doesn't actually take a really long time. What does it take?
That time, one breath.
One breath right now. And then one breath right now is it. And we don't get it. We go, it's going to years. She's been, I hear this, oh my gosh, she's been practicing for years. I'm never going to, this is, boy, I'm not going to do that. I don't, it's not for years. It's simply for right now. And then can I just do it right now? Noticing thoughts of sense desire, noticing cravings, noticing the tanha, the seeking, wanting, addictive quality of it, and saying, I can put this down just this one breath. And it builds something, you know. This is the promise. One breath, like it's understood like a water drop dripping on rock. It eventually creates the Grand Canyon. One drop, one breath. And then we see how we set ourselves up a little, I think, don't we? I've got to do it, and then we place demands about it, and demands about how to do it, and demands about when to do it, and demands about the quality of mind we're supposed to bring to doing it, and then we get frustrated and discouraged and decide we're failed and fucked up, and then we quit, don't we? And that's when my teacher said maybe tennis. Because after 10 years, I was like, I don't know if this is working. I don't think it's working so well. It was actually working perfectly. I just wasn't getting what I wanted. You know, I was talking to Pete the other day. I don't know if Pete's on, but I was talking to Pete, and I said, you know, Joko said this one thing to me probably 100 times, maybe more. And every time I thought I knew what she meant. And she said, what she said to me was, your husband is going to be your practice. And I thought she meant she knew what a knucklehead he was. And I was like, right? And she'd go, yeah, actually, correct. And I'd go, right? And she'd go, not exactly. Not exactly. At least 10 years. Like, oh, good, she could validate. Really? It was probably 5 more for me to go, he was never the problem. And I mean, not 1 minute. And I'm not joking. Not one. It was only the quality of my own heart mind. And then once you get that, you're free. Don't you? It isn't the weather, is it? Weather's weather. What do we want to say about this? And then I'll read some of my notes for you. I'm going to pass around that 2 kinds of thoughts. We're going to begin there next week. And I'm going to, it's a little lengthy. It's from Ajahn Sucitto. He's one of my favorite. He looks a little bit like E.T. And he is the most delightful monk. One of the most delightful that I know. And he writes about this, I think, in a way that will make it very palatable for us. And so, what did you notice about the quality of your own mind?
My phrase is I yes but myself.
Yes, but.
So in a situation, but if I could just X, Y, Z, or
Yeah. Conditionalizing. Yeah. If it could only be like this, or if I could only be like this. Or if I only had this circumstance, or if only it was Thursday. The if only mind. And then what do we see? What are we really saying when we do that? I don't have what it takes, is what we're saying. I don't actually have what it takes to be with whatever's here. I need a different day, a different set of conditions, a different husband, a different neighborhood, a different car, a different attitude. It doesn't matter the what, right? But we're doing it all the time. This is the addiction of us, aren't we? If only I had enough something or less of something, I could be okay. And then we fatigue ourselves, quite, don't we? Fatigue with, I can't do this because I don't have the right cushion. I can't do this because the sangha doesn't meet at the right time.
For me, I'm feeling like, oh, I'm really good at this. I can do, but that transitional part of like, oh, in work when I have all these things, and so it's, well, I'm gonna be able to transfer this bodhisattva big heart mind into the rest of my daily practices in life when I retire.
Mm-hmm.
So it's similar to
Yeah, condition.
It doesn't work.
I have
It doesn't
I'm
work.
gonna, when I have more time and
When I have
energy,
time.
when I don't
Yeah.
have to take care of my ailing
Yeah.
parents and I don't have to, when those conditions are met, then I'm gonna have so much more capacity.
Yes. Don't we like to think so?
Yeah.
So at the capacity
Yeah. Yeah.
that I'm at now, it's pretty.
So I have this process I go through where, like, I will put it on the other person first and think about, well, I need to, if only they would do this, if only, and then I move to maybe if I only gave her the money she needs, or maybe if only my daughter would do this, or if only, but it goes from them to me.
That's right.
And then sometimes I wake up and just sit down.
Yes.
And,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
If we could just catch if only mind,
Yeah.
right? No matter where it's pointed. If only mind is always looking for something else. It's a greedy little entity. If only something else. Warmer, cooler, shorter, taller, thinner, fatter, something, something. More, less. It's continuous, isn't it? Anybody notice? That mind, unguarded, it says, not held in its loving pasture, is going to cause harm to itself, isn't it? It's guaranteed harm because now it's just run amok. Yes.
What is the line between I know that I don't need, let's say, the rug?
The thing.
Yeah.
Whatever the thing.
But
I like the
want
rug.
after a year. I
Yeah.
don't like the rug anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I buy the rug?
Yeah.
The new rug?
Yeah. You can certainly buy it. Just don't mistake it for the truth or the path to happiness. Sure, we buy things, but don't mistake it because it won't be long. It will not be long. I've had a lot of rugs.
Yeah.
A lot of rugs. A lot of mala beads. A lot of mala beads. fact, I'm going to be giving them away soon.
Buddha lived in a castle and had everything.
Yep.
Everything.
Yes.
How could that be? I'm so puzzled how he
Yes.
couldn't. I mean, that's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff. Everything.
But we all know the truth of that stuff because we all have it.
If only I had less stuff.
Don't we? We all know the truth of the stuff because we all have it. We are in the God realm. And Dia said what the problem with the God realm is. It's a very busy place. There's a lot of shit to take care of in the God realm. You got all those shoes and all that yard and all those things and all these options and all, right? We are given so much that you cannot navigate it, she said. Didn't she? Right here. She said it. There's no way to create enough space in all that God realm. And then we go, well, then I'll get rid of my job. And guess what the mind immediately does for those of you who it fills it up
Yes.
with something else, doesn't it? All these who think they don't have the 9-to-5s now, there's so many books to read. There's so many volunteer things to join. There's so much good to do. It's a greedy mind. Continues. And by the way, I don't have any fault for that. I have no judgment about that quality of mind. I think it's essential to know and love, actually. But love doesn't mean give it what it wants either, does it? It means love enough to say, you're okay. You're okay. And that's how we begin to introduce, instead of sense desire thoughts, we introduce thoughts of goodwill. We care for ourselves well now by going, it's okay. You don't actually need it to be okay. It's not required. It's all right. And then you begin to, with some trust and that felt sense, this isn't here to harm me. I'm not, right? I'm going to see if I can just sit for a moment without moving. And then maybe or maybe not isn't the point. It isn't whether you move or whether you don't move, but what do you recognize? That there is a quality of mind that's capable of holding you even when it doesn't go the way you'd prefer, called moving. I can be all right. Look at how simple that is. Just sitting to sit without whatever we do. And then we get so sophisticated in the practice, by the way, that we go, actually, the moving or not moving isn't the point. It was the quality of mind that was moving. So then whether you move or you don't move is no longer, because I already know how not to, right? I'm already capable of being with this, like this. And then we see the Dalai Lama fixing his visor, right? He's not caught. He could fix it or not fix it, is the truth. Have a good day at work, Dia. And Dia just had a birthday, I heard.
Happy birthday.
Is that right?
Happy birthday,
This is
dear.
true. I had to find that out for my husband from step class. Dia's birthday. Happy birthday, Dia. Okay, let me look at a few of these things for us so that we can remember. One of the ways we begin to know we're truly engaged in practice then is when it is not only pleasant, it is not only sucrous, it is not, we're not just in the honeymoon phase of ease or stability of mind, and we start to confront the difficulties, whatever those, a little unpleasant, I don't want to sit for that long, and we begin to then employ right, we call those heart qualities. Isn't that interesting? We differentiate, we call those heart qualities. For my own good, for my benefit, towards the end of my own suffering, in goodwill, with compassion, I will abide. So that's number one. For my best interest. And then we remember the other stuff, as much as I get, as much as I have, as much as I want, isn't going to do it. And then I say things like, can I love myself enough, and I'm not kidding, those are my words, to sit here still. And I'm not kidding, those are the words. Can I love myself enough this moment to stay here when it's easier to jump up, when it's easier to get the cup of tea? And sometimes the answer is no. And I called that in my 30-day retreat, watermelon mind. 3 days of obsessing about watermelon. How to cut it, how red it would be, how delicious, how juicy. And I just kept saying, if you love yourself, don't get up. Because all this getting it is going to give you nothing. And I was able to give it away. I actually ultimately gave it to someone else. 3 days though. It was not an easy 3. It was the hardest 3. Right? Can we stay with ourselves is really then the practice, isn't it? Can I be with myself even then when it's not pleasant? And the answer is no. Not to begin. No. I'm going to distract, and that's what sense desire ultimately is, isn't it? Get me something else. Even other work. We'll take on other work not to do this work. Clean a refrigerator. Get all the dust bunnies out. Clean the underwear. You don't know what people will do instead of practice. It's quite striking. And that's you too. You'll do it. You'll do it. And will not serve you to the same extent. It doesn't mean the other things aren't worthy, and I'm not suggesting that. But they're not first, are they? They should not be first. Because the quality of mind that you bring to that's going to help you put it in right order, right? This isn't the most important thing right now. And remember, I can't get hardly anybody to commit to this every day. Not hardly anybody. It's not really totally true. There's a whole community. But really with difficulty, right? And with everydayness. Like, unless you've just got it anchored, and of course the people who have been here a long time have worked this out mostly, right? Mostly. But the everydayness of it, even for that small amount of time that we committed to at the beginning of the year, remember, we said, whatever that is, love yourself, really is what I'll say, that much. That you were willing to spend time with you that much every day, no matter how you are. Because isn't that love? I'm in a good mood, I'm not in a good mood. I have wholesome thoughts, I don't have wholesome thoughts. I have murderous thoughts. Can I be with me? Can I love me this much? Can I see who I really am? Because I'm not just the thought. What would that mean? It would mean then ultimately you'd be on the path to loving all beings that much, is what it would mean, wouldn't it? If I could do this for me, if I could sit here with me, if I could be with this mind, if I could tolerate this boredom, this murderous thought, this, look at what we're now offering to the whole of the world in every interaction. A little more, maybe by one drop, more of that. That unconditioned presence, we call it, don't we? Unconditioned, no matter how it is, no matter how you are. Restlessness appears. Boredom appears. Murderous thoughts appear. And then what? And if you can stay, what? What do you see?
They disappear.
What?
They disappear.
They disappear. Not me, not mine, not I. And the reason we glue ourselves to them is actually we don't stay to see the true nature of them. We run, and we run very quickly the other way into what then? Addiction, distraction, entertainment, busyness, our favorite. Busyness, our favorite. Dia said it. I don't have time for this. Who's got time for this doing nothing thing? I have to like retire or get old or run out of money or I don't, Resistance, doubt, frustration, and even, I believe, resentment arise. And nobody wants to stick around for that party. But if you don't, then what? You've picked running, haven't you? And now you've got to keep running. And Dia said it, it's exhausting. Didn't she? She said it's completely exhausting because there's nowhere to rest. Because boredom, restlessness, not liking, not wanting are all going to be there. But remember what I said, just like the husband, these are not actually the problem. The running is actually the problem, not whatever is arising. Isn't that funny? There is no such thing as a horrible enough thought. And I've had them all, so have you. Not a problem. Knowing thoughts like this, it says. Knowing impulse like this. I just want to get up and cut watermelon. Okay, sure. Can I be with myself then? Going, there is no watermelon tasty enough, good enough to free you. In fact, it's guaranteed. And then we guard our minds, don't we? We go, every time I have a thought like that, my version of watermelon thought, I'm going to say, this is not the path to happiness or freedom. It's guaranteed to contribute to suffering. And then I call myself back. Just here, grounding where? In the body, with this breath, something neutral, something just to get me back to the present moment, and drawing mind and body once again, right, into wholeness. And then we start again. And then we start again. The Buddha did not promise comfort. He did not promise pleasant. He promised what? Since those were
Liberation.
not the things he promised.
Liberation.
What did he promise? What? Freedom from suffering. And he says it with like all the verve one can get. This is the direct path to the end of suffering, to sorrow and lamentation. It is the only, really, path to true happiness, freedom, and ease. Now, he's not saying be a Buddhist here, so don't mistake that. Undertake training the mind, right? Undertake it. Like we do our bodies. We're so good at this. The number of people at the e-gym blows my mind. They are lined up to get on these 12 machines, right? So we're willing to commit something to something. And by the way, all useful, it's not a problem. But the minute I say sit for 8 minutes, oh my God, 8 minutes? That's like 100,000 breaths. I can't. What do you mean? Well, I don't have time for that. Where would I put that? Where would I put it? Sit in your car before you go into the e-gym. Sit in your car after the e-gym, or sit at the e-gym, following the little dots with the breath. You could even do that. People have said to me, I can't recite. Guess what? Every lift. May we be well. May we be happy. May we be free from suffering. May we be free from its causes. Couldn't we? Yes, we could. Yes, we could. And yet, right? And yet, yeah. We talked about the reasons we don't do it, the belief we can't. It's not very pleasant. We believe we don't have the willpower. And ultimately, the truth is we're training for that. We may not have it at first, right? Isn't it the quality of mind as it goes where it goes? And I get hooked in the way I get hooked, and this still isn't a problem. You just go, I only have one job, coming back to the present moment, anchoring into the body if I can. Not everyone can or should, particularly if we have a pained or difficult body. But there is something neutral available to all of us. What might that be? It could be anything, couldn't it then? It says just place the mind again and again in the open space. And it actually means, by the way, not the open space around you. Guess which open space it's talking about? The one within you. There's open space available right here. Now, for years, I just placed it out there. It was good enough. It was good enough. Because then I remembered, oh yeah, that is me. That is my true nature. And then you can place it both in either. It's all good. Right? But I didn't get that for the longest time. Open space, somewhere out there. No, not actually. Somewhere in here. That part of you that can say, I can hold this too. Right? And then we practice in these small ways, like 3 breaths. We say, can I just be with this, breathe with this, hold this with some kind of kindness, some kind of compassion, some kind of harmlessness is one of the words in the Sutta that I love. For it's 3 breaths. Before I go back to judgments, back to conditioning, back to hating, back to, and actually for the most part, if we can do it for 3 breaths, the science says you're probably going to be less likely to do it. If you can unhook for just 3 breaths, you're likely to be able to unhook for 6, for 9, for 12. So we start with 3, right? Can I just come back to the breath, come back to the body, or any of that neutral source, freeing the mind from for at least 3 breaths.
Can I be aware of emptiness for that?
Can I be aware of emptiness? That's what the open space ultimately offers. And the emptiness, since it's everywhere, in everything, we don't want to turn emptiness into a thing. That would be dumb. No freedom there. There's emptiness in everything. What's the nature of emptiness in everything, since Jim decided to bring that up? Can I have a tissue?
Yeah.
What's the how is it true that there's emptiness in everything? Since that's often a place to place the mind. And then it gives us everything, by the way, as an opportunity. It's impermanent, impersonal, and imperfect nature. Nothing is solid. Nothing is fixed. Everything empty. So you could place it anywhere. Now you can put it on the plant. The coming and going of that. The breath. That's why we begin with the breath, by the way. It's fairly neutral, and it is in its ever-rising, passing, changing nature. Isn't that handy? So then we take that quality, that noticing that of the breath, and we apply it to everything. Right? And then it's not just the plants and the dog bark and the, guess what it also is? Me. This solid, fixed idea about myself, coming and going, nothing permanent, nothing perfect, nothing fixed at all. And we free ourselves. One more time. Isn't it handy? Let me see what I think we're good. When we confront the difficulty, comes from Pema's article, we can ask ourselves, will this lead to freedom? Will this lead to non-grasping? Will this lead to non-reactivity? Will this lead to non-harm? whatever the thought. We can just apply the inventory. And if the answer is no, then we know. Abandon, it says in the suttas, abandon this thought.
Diana?
That quickly. Abandon this thought. Like, not that one. Put the mind over there. And then next week we'll talk about the 5 antidotes to when the mind is stuck. What do we do when it just keeps right back to that murderous thought? Right back like it's one continuous thought. It says there are 5 distinct antidotes to a thought that will not abate.
Diana?
Put it over there, it came back. And I did it again and it came back. And so we'll have some fun with that next week. All right. I'm just going to check back in with somebody has a question. Can you say it loudly?
Di, can you hear me?
Not easily.
Okay, never mind.
Hang on. Let me see if I can do something with this. This is, yeah, try it now.
Okay, testing 1, 2, 3.
Yes, I gotcha.
I think you've missed a few people say a few things. So
So say them for me, Jean.
Janine said liberation when that was the answer you were looking for. And Pete said something good and loud. That made me think you couldn't hear us.
Yeah, I couldn't.
But I don't remember what he said. But I have a question and I don't know where the hand, I never can find it. I think I have to
just
wait.
raise your hand. Oh, you may not have it set like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, forget it. Go ahead.
I think I have to wait till next week. But what you just said about from Pema, the ego mind says, I don't want to be okay about my friend dying.
Yes.
I got okay with my son being dead. You know, we're supposed to do this so that we get liberated. And a part of me rebels. The resistance to that is, I don't want to feel okay about this. Now, obviously, I don't want to suffer about it.
Yes.
And this may not be an appropriate forum to ask the question, but it's been repeated a few times this morning. Oh, that's conditioned mind.
Yes.
Well, so I should be okay with everything? That's what practice is for? I don't think so.
No. We do this, Jean. We confuse equanimity with acceptance.
Got it. Yeah.
You're going to cry like a baby, and so am I.
Okay.
And can I be okay with that?
Can I be okay with that? Okay. Sure.
My son's thinking about they may have to put their dog Buddy down soon. Buddy is a pain in the ass, by the way. There's not too many pleasant things about Buddy. He's demented now. He barks at things that aren't there. And I'm going to cry like a baby.
Yeah.
I am.
And you're not going to tell yourself, oh, I'm supposed to be in equanimity.
No, the equanimity is I can hold
Is to
myself.
be okay with what is.
The truth of pain is not the same as suffering. Is the other essential. Pain is pain. Equanimity can hold pain as pain.
And I've been telling myself, well, you're not at equanimity yet because
no, that's right.
Making you so sad.
Okay. Yeah, that is sad.
And compassionate for him and his wife and whatever.
And you.
Yeah.
And you, who is in pain.
Okay.
The pain of the loss of all that we love in this life.
It doesn't mean I didn't know it was impermanent. It doesn't mean I've done my path wrong. Those are the thoughts that need the 3 breaths or the coming back or what we're talking about. Thank you.
We just confuse.
Thank you. I love it that you said we. Thanks.
We confuse this. This is the Zen student's problem pit, which is that equanimity means no longer feeling or non-attachment to the truth of love, of care. No, actually, it doesn't mean that. It means I will feel this wholly, understanding this as a part of our human condition. And then I will feel it for us all.
Yes.
The Bodhisattva vow says, and then I'm going to feel it fully.
I was like, I thought since I did that with Dan, I'm done. No.
Mm.
No, I mean that I felt in his going that I understood that everybody goes and we have no,
No, I
no.
don't know. No, I don't think so.
No, I think,
And
yeah,
then with like that, and then the attachment that was like that, and then the love that was like that. Um, the love of a pet different than the love of a child, different than the love of a parent,
yeah.
different than the love of a partner. And are we not deserving of feeling all of that fully on the
Um,
path? On the
yeah.
path, by the way, the truth, on the path to freedom, because then we don't resist.
So
I
it's
don't
not
see
freedom
how
from feeling. It is
it is
not
not
freedom
freedom
from
from
feeling.
feeling. No, it's knowing feeling is feeling,
Okay.
isn't it? Feeling like this,
Yeah.
thoughts like this. I can't do this. I can't survive. It's going to kill me. And then we know thoughts as thoughts. Yes,
Okay. Thank you.
pain is pain. Equanimity can hold pain. Equanimity can hold everything, isn't it? Yeah, I'm so glad you asked that, Jean, because I think we often fall there, don't we? All right, like there's something wrong with me if I'm feeling this, and it's not true. And I hope we never get to that place where we no longer feel, but that we know the feeling is the feeling. Renee, do you want to say something? And then we're going to do our prayer.
That I think that, at least my perception has been that if I keep practicing, I will somehow get to a place where I don't feel negative thoughts or negative feelings at all anymore. Right? And it's not like that.
Yeah.
It's that you do feel things, but at least for me right now, it's that I have some sort of quiet strength or something to hold on to within myself to get me through that.
Yes.
Even though it's very tenuous.
Yes. There'll be conditions where you will not yet be successful, as there are for us all, right? We're up with that's called the edge of practice, where I don't yet know how to hold myself or others in this. And so then we cry or scream or beat our chests or do whatever we're doing. And it's not the problem, it just tells us something. I am yet vulnerable.
But I think
Like
it's
this.
at that spot where I'm beginning to see I need to reach out.
Yes.
Or I hope someone reaches out for me to
Yes.
help me.
Yes. We need help from each other. That's why we're here. And that's where we then, we'll talk about it next week some more. That's where we then rely on those things that are built for us, the refuge, the three jewels. They're there for us. Can I call those to mind? The Sangha, the truth of the Dharma, my capacity to hold everything, even if it's not in this moment. I am capable of this. The then precepts that I will not, no matter how pained I am, no matter how difficult this is, I will not further harm. I just will not. And if that means we beat our chests and tie ourselves to the mast, so be it. But we say, I will not further this moment to another. And that's the precepts. And then we use that as the support. And then we use the Bodhisattva vow itself. Can I take this on not just for myself, but for all of us who suffered just like this? And there is no exception, is there? There is not one exception to the truth of this humanness. Am I willing to just be with this? If not for myself, can I be with it for all of you? And the answer is yes, I can. It's why I became a teacher, I'm sure. I wasn't going to do it for me. It wasn't, probably. And so we count on all that, don't we? And it's all right there. We just forget. And then we're going to train in, can I call on this? And then can I call on this? And that's what the 5 antidotes are. that we're going to go. When we're in the soup, when we're really in trouble, when I don't have any of what it takes anymore at all, I can call on these things. And then how do I really do it? And can I really do it with intention? As Lisa said earlier, aspiration. I am going to call it out loud. And I have said this many times, haven't I? I can't call it out quietly. I don't believe myself. I call it out loud. I recite the prayer out loud because I can't hear me against that addicted mind. And I just place the mind, place the mind, place the mind. Does it work? Every single time. Every single time. Does it work? Yes. I've unhooked from the unwholesome, bang, right there in the wholesome. And I do it over and over and over. And guess what happens? Like lifting weights, right? Becomes stronger. And so everything we need is right here. How fabulous is that? Let's say our prayer together. Thank you all for hanging. It was a little chilly this morning, and we did it. We abided thusly. So just feeling back into the body. We're not thinking about the prayer. You don't have to remember the words. But can you ignite that bodhicitta heart? This is the point. And then we use things like repetitive words, placing the mind to activate and remember that. But remember, don't know the words. Nobody cares. It's fine. Breathing into that good heart and breathing it out. As Joko would say, at least while you're sitting there noticing the breath, you're not being stupid or causing other harm. And she was right. And then placing our hands together if that's comfortable for us. May I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles. And for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and the sky, until all beings are freed from sorrow and all are awakened. And then we rest that heart mind in the Brahma Viharas, all protections available here as we recite these words. May I be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May I have happiness, unconditioned, all abiding, happiness and freedom. May my good fortune be used for the benefit, the welfare, and the blessings of all beings. May I rest and dwell in that vast, open, and empty heart mind of equanimity, free from greed, free from ill will and hatred, free from confusion and ignorance. Having placed the mind again and again in the truth of our essential goodness, we free all beings. And may this practice this very day continue, and may it contribute. So be it. Thank you all so much. So good to see you all. Yay. You're so welcome. I will be sending that sutta out to all of you. Remembering, I'm sending a little longer one on purpose. I want you to get something from it, and then we're going to be talking about that next Saturday. I'm sorry I didn't get to see the chats. The chat was not available to me. I couldn't see it. Hopefully, everyone as well. Dr. Payne. Oh, yes, Dr. Payne. Dr. Payne took one of our first mindfulness courses 20 something years ago. Richard Payne. Yes, he did. So please tell him hello from me as well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Di.
You're so welcome. Thank you. Be well.
Thank you. Bye.